Hello and welcome. I'm Carolyn, your host, and welcome to Weekly Minis, your bite-sized workshop on the hottest acro topics. You can reference all of our previous Weekly Minis and more amazing content on the Acrobatic Arts channel on YouTube. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer those for you at the end. And if you know someone who should hear about today's topic, be a friend and tag them right now and let them know we're here. Because today we are presenting a new weekly mini with Acrobatic Arts founder and CEO, as well as a very special guest, Derek Piquette. They're both here to talk about the Acrobatic Arts AcroFIT Challenge coming this July. With over 350,000 dancers participating in acrobatic arts classes every week, Mandy Yip manages the delivery of training programs and the acrobatic arts syllabus in over 6,500 dance studios around the world. She also created the most comprehensive and researched acrobatic arts curriculum, as well as innovative apps such as the AcroDance Resource Center. Mandy is a highly sought after industry expert known for her engaging workshops and clinics across North America, Europe, and Australia. Derek Piquette is a dancer, director, choreographer, and teacher extraordinaire. With over a decade of experience and a career that has taken him all over the world, Derek is a true star in the dance world. From performing on So You Think You Can Dance to touring with Cirque du Soleil, Derek has done it all. He's also a gifted teacher and choreographer with a knack for inspiring young dancers to reach for the stars. Teachers, get ready to hear from two true industry experts. Derek, we're thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We are thrilled. And Mandy Yip, thank you for being here as well. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Carolyn. Always happy to be here.
Amazing. So let's dive in. We're talking about the AcroFIT Challenge. This is new, Mandy. So maybe you'd like to tell us a bit more about it. How does it work? What was the impetus for it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we came up with this idea a little while ago, and I'm so excited that it's finally going to launch. It's been in the works for over a year. The idea behind it was that we see that lots of times teachers have a hard time with keeping their kids motivated throughout the summer. So whether that be in their camps that they're running at their own studio, or whether their studio shuts down for the summer and the kids have a break, that there would be something for those dancers to maintain their training and stay engaged with their acrobatics while the studio is out or under the supervision of their teacher, but maybe just with a little bit of excitement from, doing something together as part of a worldwide movement. So whether they're doing it in the summertime or whether they're doing it at one of the other breaks in the school calendar, this program is designed for children and really any acrobat who's training in AcroDance to do their warm-up, to do their strength and their stretch, to learn a little bit of work as far as the skills is concerned, and to do a nice cool down, but have it in a really nice package that's easy for teachers to use directly in their studio, or like I said, for kids to use right at home.
Okay, very interesting. So now you started to mention some of the components. Can you give us some insight on what an AcroFIT class looks like, how they're designed to help complement the work of our certified teachers?
Absolutely. So it's about 30 to 40 minutes long. So it's like running an entire class. And basically the dancers come in fresh. They don't have to have a warm up ahead of time. They don't have to be warm before they start, because we're going to start with cardio. We'll move into a stretch and strength section. We'll do a really great warm-up, and then we work on some skill acquisition, but we give teachers a really good idea of how to keep those in levels that are appropriate for their students. So we're going to have a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced version of every skill that we offer. And the idea is that the dancers stay at the level that's appropriate for their development. So we don't want anyone trying things that they're not ready for. We don't want anybody to get hurt. So by mastering each level of that before moving on, it allows them to try something that might be just a little bit new or might refresh some of their skills without trying something that's going to endanger them. And then we do an in-depth stretch and a cool down at the end of each class. So it really runs the gamut of the entire class of what you would do with students, maybe a little bit shorter than what you would do in a regular acro class. But like I said, with the excitement of having it part of the challenge, which is another part of this program that I really want to chat about. So when we run this challenge. It's going to run for 14 days with a 15-day bonus. So there is actually a little bit more than that. And we'll run it the same for the entire world. So basically you get on there for day one. If you miss it, you miss it. It's gone. It's going to be up for that day. I think we're going to leave them up for 48 hours. And then it comes down and day two comes up. And everyone will be working on these same skills at the same time, whether you're in Australia or Vietnam or Canada or the UK, which I think is just such a really neat way to be part of something that everyone is doing together. So this little worksheet is also going to be part of the challenge. When dancers sign up, they're going to be able to access this, and it shows how the class is going to run across the top here. You can see that we start with cardio, then strength. We do our warm-up, we do our handstands. Every single class, you have to do handstands. And then we have our skills, which are going to be different every week. And then we have a stretch and cool down. And then you can see the days down the side here, and dancers are intended to check these off as they complete each section. And then, like I said, there's going to be a different skill that's going to be a focus each day of the AcroFIT journey.
I love it. The accountability is there, a way to make notes and to keep up with it. And I believe that there are prizes involved. So staying on point, as you said, with that, within that 48 hours that the video is up, and checking off your workout, your class has benefits in so many ways, not to mention some acrobatic arts potential swag, right?
Absolutely. That's right. I think we even have actual AcroFIT swag. So, so you can win that by being part of it.
Yes. So much is still in development as we record this, but so much is already in play, and the workouts, the classes have all been recorded and are produced. And so we are super excited to have one of the trainers for AcroFIT here with us today, trying not to fangirl, but we have Derek Piquette, as I've already said. So Derek, I'll just bring down my energy and pass that over to you. But could you tell us just a little bit more about your role in AcroFIT, and maybe a little bit about the other dancers and trainers involved in the creation of the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So me and the other AcroFIT trainer, Christina Katsopoulos, collaborated with Mandy to create this whole program that she just explained. And we use 3 dancers to demonstrate the beginner, intermediate, and advanced different variations of almost everything from the warm-up to through the skills. So it was a really big collaborative effort, and there were so many times where it was so nice to work with Mandy and Christina, because Christina comes from the fitness world as well as dance, of course, and then Mandy's the most knowledgeable with all of this. So it was so nice to come together and kind of build it with all that in mind.
What excites you about the AcroFIT challenge for your students?
I think it's going to give them something different to do. And especially I always find that when I'm not teaching my students and somebody else is, there's little cues and things that a teacher might say that they'll pick up on that I've said 1,000 times. So it's always nice to hear that from other people. So I'm excited for the parts where my students will listen to Christina and vice versa. And I just think that bringing that into studios will be so exciting. But yeah, and just giving them something different to work on. My acro class pretty much runs the same almost every week in terms of warm up and progressions and across the floor and stuff like that. So I think implementing this is just another way to add stretch and strength and skill work and all of that in just a different way for my own class.
Many Canada anyway, from where we're headquartered, a lot of our studios do take a break, and there's intensives throughout the summer, or there's still classes that run through. No matter where you're at in the world, though, the great thing about this is it's, like Mandy said, a half an hour to 40 minutes supplementing if you are on a break, helping fill that gap and that void of training. And if you're already currently training or still in action, it supplements what you're already doing with a fun challenge. So many people, so many young people are so passionate about with acro as well, and they get to work with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like summer training, not every studio does offer it. So this is a good moment, or a good opportunity for studios to not necessarily need a teacher, but just provide a space for the students and open this up. And like Mandy said, they could just put it on a screen because we've created it so that it is the most safe that it can be. And I always feel like my training, I got the most out of the summers. It's that gap that people either take off or keep training through. and it really shows the difference. And I feel like every summer is where I grew the most. So I hope dancers and teachers like find this challenge useful in that way, and so that they can come back even stronger for the next season.
I love that so much. So thank you for that, Derek. Mandy, I'll give a little bit more information about how teachers and dancers can find out some more information and get involved this summer. I have to ask though, we saw, as I said, some behind the scenes footage. You went live on Instagram when you were filming in New York. What was it like filming with Derek and Christine and the dancers? Like you said, that collaboration of many things. What was that like for you?
I mean, it was the most fun ever. Christina is brilliant. She's a brilliant teacher, and the way that she's able to describe things and then also demonstrate everything is just really magical. And I always love working with Derek. We've worked together and collaborated on so many projects, so it was really fun to do that. Would you like to see a quick sneak peek of what it looks like?
Absolutely, we do.
Okay, so I have day 8 queued up here. So I'm going to share my screen with you and just show you a little bit about what it looks like. So this is day 8, and you're going to see at the top of the screen here.
Today is day 8, and we're going to start with a dance cardio party. Let's do this. Here we go.
Up here at the top of the screen, you can see the different sections of the class, and there's a little colored bar that goes across as they complete each section. So here we are starting with cardio with Christina. And then if we fast forward just a little bit, we're going to get to our next section of the class, which is our strength section. And there's different variations, as Derek mentioned, of each of these elements. So dancers, whether they're at their beginner level or they're at a more advanced or intermediate level, you can see that there are different variations for them to try. And especially in the strength section, I mean, try the harder one. You never know. Those are going to be areas where it's not dangerous to try something a little bit more challenging. As we keep moving forward, we're going to get into our warm-up. So here we have Derek doing our warm-up. So this is going to be a full body stretch that the dancers are going to go through. All of this movement is going to be active, as we suggest they should do at the beginning of their class. And then we're going to actually get into our skills. So on day 8, the skill is limber. And so we're going to start with a beginner version of that skill. And you can see Jared here, one of our dancers, showing us the very beginner phase of doing the limber. So these are skills that even a very beginner dancer, as long as they can perform a bridge, they would be able to give this a try. And the idea is that they keep working on that even as we move forward into the intermediate and advanced versions, if this is the level that they're at. So they shouldn't be pushing themselves in this part of the class without a trained instructor at their side. So you can see Jared will continue his beginner work. And then as we bring in our next dancer, he comes up here into the side of the screen so we can see that he continues to work on that same variation, while our next dancer moves on to a little bit more challenging work. So she's rocking back and forth, which is the next level up in the progression for this skill. And as we move forward, we see our advanced dancer working on something even more challenging. So here our intermediate dancer continues to work on the intermediate version, while our advanced dancer works on the next version up. So that's how the skills are laid out. And then we get into our stretch part of class. And we're going to be working on various parts of the body, doing a little bit more of an in-depth stretch here before we move on to our cool down at the very end. So that's how our class is all designed. Like I said, there is a different class for every day of the 14-day challenge. And on the 15th day, if they get all the way through all of those classes, there is a bonus.
It looks amazing. And I love how well everything is spelled out, guided through, keeps everybody on track, feeling supported and a part of the whole process. Amazing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm excited. Okay. So we will wrap this up. But first of all, I know that this is a rare honor to have Derek here as a guest. We know that you're incredibly busy and sought after. And so we are grateful for that, your time and expertise. But speaking of which, can you tell us a bit about some of your recent and upcoming projects that our Acrobatic Arts community can celebrate and where we might be able to find you?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, thank you so much for having me today. Schmiga Dune season 2 just came out on Apple TV Plus. So we're super excited about that. The last 2 episodes come out these 2 weeks. Yeah, and just I've been working a lot with a Canadian artist named Rev. We just did the Juno Awards and The Voice with her, and it's been such a fun, wild, different ride. Kind of branching into the music industry. But yeah, and then just auditioning and teaching and putting in the work and the hustle out here in New York City.
Amazing. Well, we are celebrating you. You probably don't know it, but we're all cheering every time we see you succeed. And when we see you on screen, it gives us all hope for our dancers in our lives and our students. And so thank you for continuing to lead the charge and being such an amazing friend and member of the acrobatic arts community.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Derek.
Of course.
Thank you, Mandy, for being here. We appreciate you always.
Thanks, Carolyn. Thanks, Derek. It's been fun.
So teachers, the AcroFIT Challenge is coming this July. If you'd like to get your studio and students involved, I've put the link in the comments for info and registration. We also have resources for certified studios to help you share and build the excitement within your studio community. And remember, this is to enhance what you do at your studio, not to replace it. So please reach out to admin@acrobaticarts.com if you have any questions. It's going to be an amazing 2 weeks, and we can't wait to lock arms with you and support your students in keeping their acro skills sharp this summer with the AcroFIT Challenge. Thank you, teachers, for joining us. See you again next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.